Has anybody actually been watching what's happening on the streets of the United States of America?
Yes, sirree. I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style. I think it's Thursday. You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Geez, you know. Oh, yeah, because it goes on and on and on. For all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of...
Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. Let's make America high again. They've got drug vending machines on the streets of North America. Canada, they got cocaine and fentanyl. And if you can use a vending machine, it doesn't matter how old you are, because there's no controls there. Well, you just go get whatever. They had a vending machine in New York City. They set it up. I think it was on a Monday. By the end of the day, all of their crack pipes had been bought by whoever was using that vending machine. It's different in Canada. It's free, but whatever. That's another story. But in America, they have enough money for 800 military bases around the world. You know, it's one of those things. They're going to police the world, but they can't police their own country. They've got areas of cities that are drug infested, tent cities, and it's so bad that people that do fentanyl, and now they're putting trank. It's a animal tranquilizer. I think a horse tranquilizer, if I'm not mistaken, and they're cutting it with their fentanyl. And you see all of these people bent over and whatever. That's because they can't move. They've been tranked, and we're going to call these people tranks from now on, because that's basically what they are. They look like the zombie apocalypse has come to the United States of America's streets. No shit. Like, if you walk down some of these streets, like Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia, if you know, it's not far from Afton, New York. And I know people that live in Afton, New York. And anyway, that's for another video coming up shortly. But the idea that these people watch the other people on the street doing fentanyl and trank, and now this trank is creating sort of a flesh-eating disease where it'll fester in your leg or in your arm or in your chest, in your face, and the skin will basically just fall off. It'll pus up and fall off, and they're having limbs amputated, but they won't stop doing their fentanyl and trank because they have nothing to look forward to. The American economy has made it so bad for these people that they would rather turn into zombies on the streets of America than get jobs and have families and, you know, get married, have a love of their life, children that they can take care of, go to school, get a better life. They don't want that because it's impossible. You don't get the little house with a white picket fence anymore. What you get is a tent, a needle, and a spoon in the United States. They did this study, and people are a lot like rats. You know what I mean? Some more than others, if you know what I mean, and you do. So they took these rats and they had a water bottle full of water and heroin and a water bottle full of water, and the cage was empty. There's nothing in there except for these two bottles, and the rats, just about 100%, went for that heroin and water because they needed something to occupy their time, their mind, whatever. But then they take rats and they get the heroin bottle and the water bottle in a cage, and it's got wheels and things to play with and good food and all this other stuff. And just about 100% of those rats would drink the water and not the heroin. So if you look at it that way, if you look at us as rats, it's because these people have no hope. They have no chance to make their lives better. And it's all to do with the American government and how they take care of their citizens. Or I guess it's not take care of their citizens. Because the American way of dealing with their citizens, the the lifespan of Americans is actually going down now. People are dying on the streets in droves. People are overdosing on fentanyl and trank. They're dying because they're losing limbs. The violence is right off the Richter scale. If it was an earthquake, uh, American cities would be the epicenter of those earthquakes. Why? Because the American government doesn't care about their citizens. They'll show that how good they are on the news, and then they'll point fingers at other countries and say, they're taking your jobs. They're genociding their people. They're taking people off the streets and forcing them into labor, forced labor. They're stealing their identities. Their cultural genocide is off the scale. Like you've never seen it so bad. And Americans are looking around on the streets of America saying, really? you know, so we have it better than they do over there? Well, and see, there's that propaganda shit again that I talk so much about. That you watch the news, you watch the politicians, the land of the free and the home of the brave. You watch all of this stuff coming out of the United States, where we're the policemen, we're the moral compass for the rest of the world. And if they don't do it like we do it, well, we'll just bomb the shit out of them. And that's basically what they've been doing over the last 75 years since World War II ended. It's one of those things that the American people have to start figuring out what's right and what's wrong. And don't take the lead from the mainstream media, because they're going to tell you what the politicians want you to know. They're going to brainwash you. They're going to tell you that they've got everything under control, that you're doing fine, you'll never have a house, you'll always be a renter, you'll never be able to have a family, you'll never be able to do any of the things that you dreamt of doing when you were a child. Because when you're a child, you have hope instead of what you have now, despair. And we see it all across the United States. We see it in Canada. They just spent $3.5 million on vending machines to give free drugs to people. It's basically ridiculous. You go to a country like China, this would never happen. Singapore or Vietnam or Laos or Indonesia or Malaysia, none of these countries would even think of doing something like this. You get caught with drugs there, you're in big trouble. In the United States, they'll give you free drugs. Well, we're doing it to save these people because this is safe drugs. This is clinical, medical grade drugs that we're giving these people so that they can carry on with their addictions and drive themselves right into tent city, and that's the way that they're going to be safe. From what? I think now in the United States, you have to be safe from your government. You have to be safe from your drug dealers. You've got to be safe from your gangs. You've got to be safe from the media misinformation, disinformation that you hear on a daily basis. And you don't know what is misinformation and disinformation because there's so much of it out there that, and everybody is a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I tell you exactly what's happening on the streets of America. And still, it comes out as a conspiracy theory by the mainstream media, by the politicians, by the people that don't want you to look at the world the way you look at the world, because of people like me telling you what's going on. I don't know where we go from here, because there's no way that you're going to take this probably about 400,000 or 500,000 people off the streets of America right now that are addicted, hard addicted to things like fentanyl and trank. Are we going to have a zombie apocalypse like in the movies? Because it's starting to look like that. You know, the flip phones on Star Trek to, you know, all of the things that you see in these futuristic movies on TV, and then they come true in 5, 10, 20 years. Now, these zombie movies that we've been watching on TV, this is actually happening. People are zombied out on the streets. Flesh-eating diseases are ripping the flesh from their bones. And they know what's doing it, but they still do it because they have no hope for anything else. It's a strange world, isn't it? And it's your world as an American. And I know, after living in China for 20 years, the Chinese people want none of it. The Vietnamese people want none of it. Indonesian people want none of it. The Singaporean people, they want none of it. None of these countries in Southeast Asia and Asia want anything to do with the type of democracy and political corruption of the Western world because of what they see happening to the United States at this time. There's no way back. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe and hit the bell. Until next time, peace out. Bye now.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know